Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another Your Scrap Thursday nights. Tonight is calendar night. We're getting ready for our November calendar. And November here in Canada is a special month because we acknowledge and remember those that fought in any wars and, of course, lost their lives in the protection of Canada and other countries. So tonight I'm going to be focusing on the theme of the poppy, and I don't have any really brilliant, beautiful poppy paper that was uh, simple enough to create a more somber November page. So what I did is I went on to Google search and I looked for free images of poppies, and I found one that I really liked, and I downloaded it in its full size, so the poppies were about that size, and then I messed with it in my Photoshop to create a smaller version where I could take strips of it where you could actually visibly see a good poppy shape. The bigger they were, the more lost they got on the sides of my calendar. So anyway, let me clear my desk a little bit. Um, and we'll get started. So I have some black letters, large letters for the November, and then I'm going to put Lest We Forget in my white letters. And of course I have my original page that I cut down. I think I was cutting those while on screen, so I just figured I'd shorten the day and cut it down before I got on screen. And I've changed my setup a little bit. I managed to get myself a standing desk, which is a whole lot more comfortable. Boy, I'm really noticing the difference already. And now my camera is a little more, I think, stable. And I'm going to be able to give you a better view of my desktop, because my desktop was literally a teeny tiny desktop that I was working from before. So I hope you enjoy this newfangled arrangement. And okay, so we're going to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the poppies in, and I'm just going to put them right down in this center here, or section here, from the gray top of the gray to the bottom line. And to do that, I want to make sure I measure. So that distance is more or less 8 inches. And I have 9 inches, I think I made the pocket paper. Yes, 9 inches or more even. All right, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to find a spot where I can get, I think it's 3/4 of an inch there. Yeah, so I'm going to cut just a little over 3/4 of an inch. I can always trim back. And I want to get sort of the idea of the poppies going down. I want them to show up. So I can chop anywhere I want on this paper. So I'm going to start my chop here because I can see that I'm going to get a fair number of poppies in that line. And then I'm going to go over just a little over 3/4 of an inch. And that way you can see that it's actually poppies that we're looking at here. And this is a little short at the top, so we're not going to do that one. And let's see, I can play around a little bit again. I want to get a nice run of poppies happening. Let's try here. Okay, and I'll do just over 3/4 of an inch for the other side as well. There we go. And so the poppies are different on both sides, but they will look nice together. And I can even flip them around if I want to make them super different. Okay, now I need to measure the distance accurately, and then I can do my cutting for that. I'm going to use didn't bring a ruler over to this space, so I'm going to use my alignment tool and do some measuring. So apparently, according to my alignment tool, we have 7 and 7/8. So I'm just going to go to 8 inches even, and I'm going to cover the bottom with a strip of a different color anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that. So pull out my arm, go over to 8 inches, and cut. Oh, what happened to my other one? There it is. Again, over to 8 inches, and cut. That cut was not very pleasant. I'll make sure I put that at the bottom. Okay, so there's my 2 side pieces. I'm going to get those put on right away. And I'm just going to use my tape runner for this. It's lightweight paper. And I'm going right on the actual calendar page with my tape runner, because the lighter the paper, the harder it is to keep your paper from ripping with your tape runner. Alrighty, which end did I not like? At the bottom there. So we're going to line up all the way down. There we go. That's one side done. And do my taping here again. Let's see, which way do I want that to be? That's too much the same, so I'll turn it that way. And lining up at the top edge. And all the way down the side there. There we go. So that is done. Now to go along with this paper, I decided to go darker than lighter. This has a bit of a pink tinge to it, so I found that red paper, actual red paper, it wasn't playing well with the color. Now I should trim these so I don't get myself confused. The lines are a little bit bigger. So I'm going to trim it with my large scissors. There we go. Take it off both sides. This one there's not very much, but every little bit creates a visual deviance. Whoops. There we go. All right. That didn't come off as nicely as I had hoped. There we go. Okay. And now we're going to put this piece across the top. It's 12 inches, so it should just fit perfectly across the top there. And if I'm not mistaken, it is 3 1/4 inches. So I am going to cut 3 1/4 inches of this. It might be even a little smaller than 3 1/4. You know what? Maybe I should just double check that. Don't want to waste paper if you can avoid it. No, that's 3 1/4 inches. It'll be slightly over, but we'd always rather be slightly over than under. So we're going to cut this at 3 1/4 inches. Ooh, that's really heavy cardstock. There we go. And that should just fit nicely right in there. Oh, look it. Am I blind or what? Oh, it's over 3 1/4 inches. Yeah, I am blind. Okay, no problem. We'll just trim across the top. There's always a way to fix everything. I am not a perfectionist in crafting. Other areas of my life a little bit more perfectionisty, but not with crafting. I don't know why, but it seems to be easier for me to let go when I'm crafting. Alright, so we're going to go from there to there and fit that in nicely. Alright, and I'm going to trim off this white so the page will not be a true 12 by 12. Don't think anybody's going to notice. And if they do, oh well. There we go. And now we're back. Beautiful. Okay, so now, oops, I got something on there. Now we are going to put the bottom on, and the bottom is, like using this grid on my desk, just under 3/4, but I think I'm going to cut it 3/4 so we're safe. So I'll put this in. I like going from the bottom to the top with a heavier paper so that I don't have the shifting that I have coming down. And that'll go over top. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. That fits wonderfully. Again, I'm just going to put my adhesive right on the paper. There we go. And align that with the side and the bottom. And I just shifted a little bit too much. There we go. Okay, and there we are. So we got that at the top and at the bottom, and our poppies are nicely visible in between. Now we're going to put on our title. And I hope I have the right amount of letters. N-O-V-E-M-B-E-R. Whew, that's close. Alrighty, so my top, I have a plastic top on my surface to protect my tabletop from getting ruined. And so I should be able to, but it's not. It's vinyl, so this is going to be sticky, so I do need to have a craft mat to prevent my letters from sticking. So let me put my craft mat down quickly. There we go. And now my letters won't stick, except to the ruler. And we're remembering that you have to have the ruler showing the text in the right way because the back will peel off. And we're going to start with our letters here. So N, I'm going to go straight across. Where did the other package? There we go. I haven't even opened this one. N. Oh, I'm going to make it very tight. Oh, I can use the V off of this one. And the E off of this one. And I always do a little bit of adjusting to make sure things are nice and even. Okay, sometimes you have to let the letters sort of relax a bit. or they take on a different shape. I get the B. Oh, I'm short an E. So we're going to make an E. November. Make an E out of the F. So make sure that's all down. Oh, goodness. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to pick up my page. Do I want to space those letters out? I don't think I do. I think I want to put them right on there. I'm going to line them up. That might be a little too close. Straighten that a little bit. November. And get it a little more centered. Okay, I think I'm good to go. Whoops, I shifted. There we go. And now I'm just pushing everything down across the top. Then I turn it, and I like to put a ruler on there because it's a long word. If it were a short word, I could just use my hand to put the pressure on the letters to keep them from popping off, but I'm going to put a long ruler, hold them, and you just snap them off. Sometimes the L's and the bottoms of E's give you a little bit of trouble. And there we have November. That's awesome. Now I need to cut the bottom of the L, so I'm going to have two I's. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to take part of the I. This does not want to come off. There we go. So I'm going to need a pair of scissors that I know I have here on my table somewhere. I'm going to need a nice clean cut. There we go. And that's going to push up to there. And it's a little bit thicker than I want. So I'm just going to thin it down a tiny bit. There we go. And now there's my E. Okay, so we are a bit crooked on this R. Thing with foam letters is they do move a bit. Okay, there we go. Put a fluffy on there. Okay, so we have November, and now I'm going to put the Lest We Forget. Now I did not remember to leave space for that, but I think our letters are going to fit fine. So get this out of the way, get back to my ruler, make sure that it reads properly, and I'm going to start with an L. And we're going to do that right here. And I think I'm going to do small letters just so that it doesn't compete with the title. But, oh, there we go. There's our E's. Now, these letters are ancient, so I could not even tell you. You probably could never get, you couldn't get these. So I'm not going to put them in the notes because there's no point. I know you won't find them. 4 and G. There we go. Now G's are interesting, so I'm just going to put him lightly here so I can get the O in there, but then I'm going to take him off, because if I have that much stuck on my template, it won't pull off properly and I risk ripping the G. Okay, so this is how my word is. I'm going to take the G out, and we're going to lay this on our layout. And I think I'm going to have it finish at the same spot. Lest we forget, and I think I'll come down just a little bit. That F is a little tight there. There we go. So these I can press down, turn it sideways, get my ruler. Oh, that's not the ruler I want. This is the ruler I want. And I have, the foam is sticking up, so I'm just going to put my ruler really close to the edge and snap it off. Oop. And sometimes you do lose a part. So let's, because it's not a perfect science. It's pretty good though. 4. And my E lost its leg here. There we go, but you'd never know. Because luckily it fit in perfectly. And I am actually going to raise, no I won't. I'll keep my G on the same level. And it just goes a little bit over the Friday. All right, so there we have our base pages. Okay, so we have a couple of things I want to do. I want to keep this simple, so I'm not going to add any flowers. I may actually add a poppy on either side, so I do have some extra poppies. So I think I'm going to do that since I have them. Now they're the bright reds, so it's going to be a bit odd, but it will show up much better. And I'm just going to poke them right through. Make sure it goes down. Okay. Oops, don't want to go all the way through. Because if you go all the way through, you're going to poke yourself constantly. Oh, it did go all the way through. Oh well. I will fix that by putting some tape on it. So we have November. Nope, it's not low enough. There we go. Okay. Might change the location of that. And then we're going to drop in our dates. So if we look at November, so November 1st starts on a Wednesday, and I'm using gold, red, and black. The Legion colors are blue and gold, but Remembrance Day is black, white, and red. And so I'm going to merge those two things together, the Canadian Legion that is. So we have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. And then I alternate, so I go to 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 3, 6, 9. All right. The other thing I want to do is add, I'm going to take these out. I want to add a gold border around just to give it a little bit of a fancy edge. And I'm going to use the gold marker. And hopefully I can hold it steady. I'm going to give it about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to draw 1/8 of an inch line all the way around the outer edge. 1/8 of an inch line, and I can bring that down and do the bottom at the same time. All right, so I'm just finishing off across the bottom here. And it's amazing what a simple little line will do to elevate a simple layout. I always feel you can always just do one more thing to make something look a little more special. Now, luckily I have markers that dry quickly, so you want to make sure you're using a dry quick marker, because otherwise when you put things, whoops, I almost went the whole way. When you put things together, you can smear the marker. Boy, that was close. I almost kept going right up the side. All right, and you know what? I think I will just, because I can, I'm going to put little dots in each of these corners just to give it a something else. I used to do a lot of dots in my scrapbooking days, and now you can see how that just gives it a little bit more look of a finished page. So there we are. That is our finished November calendar page, and that was a fairly quick video. I hope you enjoy it. If you did, please share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and like under the video in YouTube. See you next week. Bye.